Thursday, March 16th Megastream from MLB The Show and Sony San Diego. In this stream, we saw, it was about 7.5 hours long. We saw a ton of stuff. They started with about an hour on graphics. We will be going over that very briefly. I know a lot of people that were in the chat for that graphics stream were, just kind of sitting there waiting for something to happen, but the one thing that we always overlook with graphics is graphics are the ultimate immersion point. If the graphics don't look good, if the graphics don't pop every year, if the graphics don't make significant upgrades every year, that is a huge shot to immersion and to feeling like the game is advancing. So what they've done with graphics this year, specifically some of the grass, the faces, very specifically, we will see that. Some of the hair has looked amazing. The body types, it doesn't look like a brand new game, but it looks like a significantly upgraded game. And those faces that they have in the game now, we'll talk about why I think that player faces is one of the top 3 reasons that this game will be a significant upgrade over MLB The Show 16. So let's start off with this graphic stream. You see, as normal, the community manager and game designer, people forget he does that too, Ramon Russell over there in the purple Twitch shirt. 2 gentlemen that most of you do not know because they don't get on the stream very much. Excuse me. Patrick Hager, who is the lead graphics designer, and Paul Haney, who is the art lead. Both of these guys have a huge hand into what you see every day you turn on the show. Doesn't matter what commentary is, doesn't matter what all the animations do. If they don't look good stopped and still, they won't look good in motion. So let's get into some of the things they told us about. The slides that they went over. You see this right here, graphical improvements. They talked about the new, some of the new lighting, some of the physically based rendered lighting. You will hear that referred to as PBR. No, it doesn't mean Pabst Blue Ribbon. You monsters in chat that I already know are saying that, and we're saying that yesterday. PBR lighting, there have been some significant upgrades for that in terms of shadowing, player faces, and especially grass texturing, which, again, you also see here, grass tech. The new way faces are handled, no, it is not a new face scan that you're seeing. The new facial graphics actually affect creative players as much as they affect guys with face scans. The new head rig, which we will see very briefly in the beginning, that will show better facial expressions, again, about immersion. They do a quick classic stadium tour of Shea Stadium, spoiler alert, with the Mets playing there. And some of the player model improvements, which we just talked about. They have different player types and more body sliders. Again, to see stuff like that, that's why. Let's move on. So we see here the face rig. So what you see here is a actor on the left-hand side of the screen showing off the different points of face rigs, and on the right side, what it means in the animations. So last year, there were 45 bones that could be animated in their facial impressions.
Apparently
That is, I mean, that's pretty impressive. This year, it is over 200 different places that it can blend. What that means is you get to see more facial animation, more expression, more emotion on the face. I've talked about before how NBA and Major League Baseball are the 2 sports that rely on a player's face to market the game more than any others. The more realistic you can get the faces in motion, the more a player will be brought into the game, the more you will feel the game as it goes. We get to see some of the player comparisons that we saw before. Obviously, the Rizzo one we saw very early on, but then they go into the game and show what I thought was cool. They went into the game and they showed the Rizzo in motion here. You get to see, and one of the cool things now is you see the light and how the light affects his face as he goes. Very cool. Very happy about that. So let's see here. And you see, yeah, like the way the hair interacts with the hat, the new texture in the hat. This right here, the eye black, how it reflects. Again, just and the eyes. One thing I promise you, keep looking at, you'll be impressed every time, especially blue eyes. But the lighter color eyes, you really see that difference in the eyes. And again, it's all about immersion. You see Pedro Strop here with the tilted hat on the side, something he is famous for. But you see the hair, the mustache hair here doesn't look as good for me. I'm not seeing as good with the mustache hair, but I think down here is better. I think it's much harder to animate smaller amounts of hair than it is to animate full like beards and stuff, and you'll see that as we go on. One of the cool ones I saw was Wade Davis. They get to Wade Davis at one point, and Wade Davis I think has a very good short stubble beard, which I think is very amazing to watch. So we will see that here in a second as well. I think they get to, let's see here.
He's on the Phillies?
This is Munenori Kawasaki. You see, that's a new set of glasses they have. One of the reasons I want to stop on this is, so coming from an Orioles fan, one of the types of players they've had problems with in the past is Asian American or Asian players in general. It's very hard for them to get that facial structure along with the eyes and the way the mouth parts and everything, and especially like the way the cheeks come down into the chin. I think especially with this facial of Kawasaki right here, with this face scan right here, I think this looks like a significant upgrade for Asian players in the show. I think they did a really good job with, Caucasian, African American. I think they do a lot of really good things with the faces before this year. But Asians were always the ones they had a problem with. They all kind of looked just like scrunched, and that's not how an Asian looks. I think this does a much better justice to Asian players. You'll see a couple more of those as we go along. I know I saw an early scan of Hyunsoo Kim in one of those where he didn't look as good, but then I saw a still picture and it looked much better. So we'll see that as we go along. That's one thing, if you're looking for graphics or face scans, highlight on the Asian players, because that is something they've had issues with in the past. You see here Wade Davis, what I was talking about. We'll see that in motion here. I definitely want to see that in motion as we go. So you see what I'm talking about with the stubble? The stubble on Wade Davis actually looks realistic, and that is something, again, that they've had problems with in the past, is shorter amounts of facial hair, smaller amounts that you really can't tell. Here we go. We're gonna get him swinging around above me here for a second. So yeah, like even on the soul patch right here with the missing pieces here, I think this looks much better than it has in the past. Just so you guys know, there are 20 plus new facial hairstyles, there are 20 plus new top of the hairstyles, and there are none repeated from last year. They completely scrapped the ones from last year and rebuilt them to make them all look realistic. So very happy to see that. Let's see here. I think the next thing we get into is the body sliders. Again, one of those things where you only saw a couple of different body styles last year. This year, you see them playing with spine length, something they've used Chris Sale a lot in terms of an example for. And you see that, the spine length, it kind of compresses as it gets smaller. So to get a big, lanky Chris Sale-like, or a Randy Johnson is another example, something like that. Or even, I'm trying to think of another tall pitcher. There's a lefty I'm thinking of that played for the Orioles for a cup of coffee, and I can't remember his name, but those long, 6'8" guys that really have that thin body but the lanky arms, that spine length is going to help that. But you see also they have body sliders for the thighs, the hips and glutes, the butt slider, as Ramon loves to call it. So all of those help create weird body styles, and they show that a little later when they show, I think it was Kyle Schwarber in the outfield, the difference between the husky body style and the regular body style from last year. So there's a couple. Oh, that's don't sleep on that right there. Right here, jersey sleeve length. Also very cool to be able to not so much change the jersey sleeve itself, but the appearance of a larger arm. A lot of times, if you take a shirt sleeve up a little bit, it gives that appearance of wider shoulders. So pulling that sleeve up a little bit, not so much because players wear different sleeve lengths, but again, one of those things that could give a different appearance of a player. I think that's very cool as well. Let me move this over to the side so I can kind of see what you guys are doing here. 1 second. All right, so next up, Hendrickson, Mark Hendrickson. Thank you very much, Inferno, Panda Waffle, those guys. Mark Hendrickson, if you remember him, that's what I meant with the body slider. Let me get that back out there. Okay, with the spine length, the sleeve length, the hair. Again, all these hairs you're going to see are all done from scratch. One of the other cool things, you see that skin tone. You can, it's like now a color palette. Instead of doing one, you have to do very specific colors. You can change the color of your skin as it goes. A multitude of shades, a multitude of varieties. I love that. Same thing with facial hair. Same thing with top of the head hair as well. I think, again, that's very cool. You see all these different sliders for the head, things we've always had. But again, they say the randomizing of the head now will be logical. Like last year, you could see some weird heads like Sonny Aochi if you follow our Orioles franchise. This will be more logical not only to the size and shape of the head, but also to the culture of the player. So African Americans have historically different skull features than a Caucasian, than an Asian. Again, we talked about why do the Asians look better this year? That's why the facial structure is different and more editable this year. Again, I know I spend a lot of time on these kind of things, but I feel like these are important things to remember when it comes to immersion in the game. So let's keep going here. There is, okay, so you're going to see some of the different hairs that they have done. Again, all the hairs completely redone this year. There are no dreads this year. If you're looking for dreads, they are not in. They could not get them in. Ramon said that is a shot they're going to take for 18. So you see a couple of these little flop over here that we're going to see the Bryce Harper flop in a second. What else here? Come on. All right, there we go. You see the little spiky hairdo there with the different... And then we see this. We see this hard thing over here. This, let's bring this up real quick. Or maybe it just won't bring up and we're going to have to deal with it right there. There we go. This is a bug they had in testing, unfortunately. This looks terrible. That looks like, as Warble said in our Twitch chat, which we're going on right now, that, my friends, is what Nightmare Fuel looks like. That is horrifying. Yeah, so, sorry guys, that's exactly what's going to happen. Let's see here. 15:30, we'll keep moving on here so we don't get too much on. Oh, okay. So this right here, what I want to show you in this screenshot, and I want to get this in actual video play. So what this is the lighting before they put an extra filter on it and after. What you're going to see on the left-hand side there is there's more, if you'll notice, there's more actually on all of these. There's more blue on the left-hand side. They actually filtered up to get that warmer feel of skin in the daytime. Again, take a look at those eyes and the reflections of the field they're in, of the city backscape, obviously in Chicago here. So I think that's very cool. Getting that, like I said, the realistic skin tone, the realistic eyes, I think all that is a great thing. So keep moving that on. The shadows. Okay, this is a great screen here. This is, over here is MLB The Show 16, and above me is MLB The Show 17. What you'll notice is the way the hat goes down, the way you see the edges of the hat, you see much more texture on this, on the right hand side here. You see this is kind of dull. Even down here, you see it kind of cuts off and it's got a weird angle. These are from the same angle, guys. It actually takes the shadows on the face are different this year. The shadows on the face are actually generated based on the light that hits the hat. It's not just like this big block over their head that just puts a shadow down. So I think that is, again, as we talk about, upgrades to the lighting engine, you might not even notice when playing. It just goes into the big picture to make everything look better. So we're going to see a helmet cam here of Carlos Santana after a base hit. So, all right, what you see here, the first thing I noticed is the texture on the helmet. A lot of the helmets were smooth last year. You see kind of the dimples and everything as the helmet goes. The other thing I want you to look at is, let's see if I can get to it here. Right even with my finger on the nose, you see individual beads of sweat this year. Last year, you got kind of the shininess when it comes to, the shininess when it came to sweating. But this year, you'll actually see individual beads of sweat, and you'll actually see them roll down the face if you get a good enough shot of them. I think that's, again, one of those things that, you know, it takes a while to program in, because you got to program like logic for sweat. You have to tell the bead of sweat what the gravity is, what the physics is going down a face. And to have that installed into the game like this, seeing individual droplets come down as a player starts to sweat around first base in the middle of July, seeing Carlos Santana standing at first base, you know, maybe the 7th inning of a 90-degree game, you see the sweat beads just drooling down. That's, again, immersion. I keep using the I word. Immersion, immersion, immersion. Graphics create immersion. Animations create immersion, and that's what this is all about. The other thing you're going to see here, let's see if where they show it at. Oh, they definitely show it on the Hayward thing. It's going to be a little tough to see on stream. I actually downloaded a copy of the video, and it's easier to see. They talk about specular energy, and let me explain to you what that is. Specular energy is the energy and reflection of light you get off of a surface. So not necessarily what you see when you're head on, but when you look at the surface of something, you get to see the specular energy and colors that come off of it. So you see the green on his glasses? That green and the green tint that he has is actually the grass reflecting back up. They showed Carlos Santana running down the first baseline with some brown on his, like brown glow on his jersey almost. You actually get that when you see it live. If you watch a baseball game live from like the first or third base line, and they're running down with the sun beating down on their back and on the grass, you actually get to see a little bit of that come back up. So again, not just the fact that the grass is reflecting in the sunglasses, but you're getting a green tint back up on the player, especially like white jerseys and stuff. You'll see that on. So again, very cool to see that. Let's see here. They showed, let's see here. Let's move this on. Oh, we're going to see Chris Davis here, the beardless Chris Davis. So the beardless Chris Davis, and the way that's the difference in lighting here, you see a lot, again, the way lighting was changed, exposure. There's exposure weighting in the right-handed shot and not in the left-handed shot. So you see the one on the left doesn't quite have that sun effect on it, whereas the one on the right has, you know, that nice glare, that nice glow to it. So very, very cool to see that. You see the same sweat beads on the eye black, a little bit on the nose there. So again, very cool to see just what they can do with the graphics. This was the one that blew me away. Let me see if we can get that screenshot of it. I know they actually zoomed in on it. So, aha, there we go. So I talked about PBR lighting, physically based rendering. What that means is whatever the object the light hits, it actually reflects back as it would in real life. It will reflect back from leather, from rubber, and from metal differently. So you see right here a perfect example of that. Let's pause it right there. You see the gold, by the way, gold, awesome with the little embossment in there. So the gold on the bottom of the New Balance cleats, you see the gold reflecting as it moves. You do not see the same reflection off the shoes. So you can tell metal, and you will see that in the stadium tour as well. Metal reflects differently than the leather. Metal reflects differently than the plastic seats you see in the crowd. Metal reflects differently than even the pads on the outfield walls. So again, yeah, you see that, how it just goes, and some of the new Nikes they got there. But even there, it's harder because it's on Twitch, and Twitch compresses a lot. But you see, like, the way it reflects as you move past it. It actually, that silver had a sky reflection in it. I mean, that's, and these are, oh, Adidas cleats. There we go, guys. So again, very cool. I want this cam, by the way. Why can't we have this fly camera in the game? I'm fighting for that, guys. I'm fighting for that next year. By the way, those white Under Armours are sick. Let's see here. The body scaling. I think we should, the guy in the outfield. Aha. Is this where we're going to see that? So you see the widget they have up here, the Use 2017 body types, where they can switch back and forth. Hopefully we get to see that right here. Move that back a step. What they're doing here is they're taking Flycam, by the way, for anyone that wants to know, Flycam is the ability to take the camera anywhere in the stadium. Being able to, where you have it now, if you're using the regular replay cam, you can only get so close to the player, and it like stops, or you can only move it back so far before it stops on the edge of the stadium. I want to be able to take a Flycam and take it like a drone, just take it anywhere in the stadium. You see there the difference in the body types, you'll see him switch this one right here. So 2017, what it's doing here is it's flipping between the body sliders and the types that are available in 2017 to the ones that are available in 2016. It starts in 17, and you see he'll flip it off. That one will go to a 0 in the yellow in the top left corner.
Shoes and gloves, Grass Tech. Let me zoom out. We can swap in.
Show it to me. Show it to me. Don't make me a liar. Come on. Oh, the Grass Tech. Well, we'll get to that in a second. Hold on. I definitely want to show this body slider first, and then we're going to show the Grass Tech, which is, again, one of the cooler things that I saw. So, yeah, here we go. This is Schwarber, obviously, in left field for the Cubs, leading off, which I think is a cool move by Joe Madden, by the way. But you're going to see them switch off of his 2017 to his 2016 body type. As soon as it starts, there we go.
There's twos right there. Either one works. All right, so what we're going to do is turn off.
You see it off? So that's off right there. He just looks stocky. You put it back to the 2017, and yes, he still looks like he has that middle of the chest, but he doesn't look like he's like the Blob from Marvel Comics. Like, he doesn't look like MODOK from Marvel Comics for you Marvel fans. Like, he doesn't have that thick side-to-side look. He looks like he has some of that, some of that big sexy Bartolo Colon in him, but he doesn't have that huge wide stance that he doesn't actually have in real life. So, let's see here. Keep moving. They're going to talk about Grass Tech here in a second. What Grass Tech is, it now pays attention to the angle you're looking at the grass. Again, sounds crazy, but if you go to a baseball game in real life and you sit in the outfield, you don't see the same cut of the grass as everybody else does. You'll see the cut of the grass completely goes away as you swing around. Like right there, you can barely see the cut. So the way the light affects it makes a lot of difference. We switch this around a little bit. They talk about bounce lighting. Again, something that going on with that. You'll see the white balls they put up over the players. We saw them in the graphical stream last year. There we go. This is what I want to see. So what you're going to see here is a player coming out of the dugout and the way the light affects him this year, walking from the shade walking to the shade into the sun. You see how the sunlight now affects individual parts of that jersey. Something in 2016 that was done partially but not fully. This is something they talked about being a 2-year plan where they instituted. It was really cool. All right, let's see here. Let's see the light balls. Show me the light balls. I love seeing the light balls. So the light balls, what they use that for is essentially like if you've ever seen a photography setup where they put the white ball, it shows where the lighting is coming from. It gives you a point of reference for the lighting and how it should affect that player. So the point, obviously the light's coming from above and to the right a little bit. So you see that, and that's how it should affect Jake Arrieta. You see there's a light ball for every object on the field. So the guy in short right, obviously the second baseman on a shift, will react differently. That's just how they do that. And they went over that a lot during that stream. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube, a link to all of the official archives, guys. Please watch the official archives. Do not go watch these people on YouTube trying to get an easy buck out of you. Watch the official archives in the description. And let's see here, but it's going to be twitch.tv/Sony San Diego Studios and youtube.com/Sony San Diego. So again, we're seeing those light bulbs. Let's see here. We get to see the reflection changes, which again, cool to see. I don't think it's really something that people are that interested in terms of, yeah, you get to see the way different pieces of the equipment reflect and everything. The reflection that this is all the reflection that you'll get in the actual main jersey as a layer. So again, kind of cool there to see under the hood. All right. One of the big things they showed this year was Shea Stadium in this stream. So you see this nice cam of Shea Stadium. You see the home run apple right here between sinker and slider. So all of that's in, and they actually take a base hit and they fly around the stadium a little bit. Again, I won't take you too much into that here. That's more of a visual representation that you should watch on the official archive. They do go into, the padding's correct. Obviously the Hall of Fame numbers in the back here with Jackie Robinson's. So they go over a lot of Shea Stadium. They go over PBR lighting in the stadium because PBR does not affect just the players. PBR affects the artifacts in the stadium too. This metal and this camera and everything will reflect differently. You see the glass in the camera reflecting differently than everything else on there. So again, that's something that you should watch the official archive for. But one of the big things they announced on the stream was those of you, myself included, that have a PlayStation 4 Pro. We've been waiting for this information here, and I'm going to explain to you what all of these mean. So you have 4 different types of visual modes. You have HDR, and you have an HDR intensity slider. Let's go over each one. You have 4K, the 4K visual mode. Obviously, if you have a 4K TV, turn this on and you will get a better, clearer picture. More pixels per area on your TV. You have enhanced visuals, which is an artifact-free version of 1080p. So it'll give you a much cleaner look on you guys that don't have the 4Ks, but you have the 1080ps. So again, is the PlayStation 4 Pro right for me? If I don't have a 4K TV, the show is trying to show you that they are going to support even 1080. They have high frame rate, which I have a huge interest in. You guys have noticed that I'm playing MLB The Show 16 in boost mode. It was a firmware update for the PlayStation 4 Pro that has affected the frame rate significantly in MLB The Show 16. It looks like they have a high frame rate mode this year, which they'll try to target a higher FPS and be able to lock in. My hope, opinion, not official, not even said. My hope is that can get 1080p, 60 frames per second. Because if it can, that's how we'll stream. And we'll keep that smoother animation going. And then last but not least, they have the regular mode. You'll see 4K down here again. Just regular, if you're on a PS4 Pro, I don't know why you wouldn't use one of these two, but you could just use regular mode. HDR, by the way, is the different lighting you have on your TV. A caution on HDR. HDR causes inherent lag on TVs. You will get a higher lag with HDR on. This intensity slider will not affect that lag. HDR on or off is the lag switch. HDR intensity is how bright you want to see that it is HDR colors. They said if you max this, and maxing it is not the best. You're going to have to go to your TV and figure out what looks best. Maxing this slider will wash out all the colors. You'll be looking at the sky and all you'll see is like you're looking directly into the sun. So definitely, oh, and I have something in the chat. You think it's cool, but you're concerned that the high frame rate might give players an advantage in online head-to-head games. I do not think that's what it will do. I do not think that at all. Just because you have a higher frame rate does not give you more of an opportunity to hit a fastball. I don't think that's, I'm pretty sure that they will 100% get that. And when it comes to online, they have to bring down some of the graphics anyway to continue it to run at a good. So the people that have the advantage are people that play on monitors. That's where you get, if you're playing on a 55-inch TV, you are at a disadvantage as opposed to somebody playing on a 1 millisecond, 24-inch monitor. It's just the way it is. Most of the top players that play on Diamond Dynasty play on monitors. So HDR would put you at a disadvantage if HDR transfers to online, but I don't think the high frame rate in this will create an unfair advantage. So that's the PS4 Pro stuff. They did release a couple of Legends during this stream. Let's see here. Did they? I thought they did. Aha! Legend reveal. It's tips. RKO doesn't mean you can't succeed. I'm just telling you that monitors have a better. What's up, Nixie? I have a better chance of succeeding. So you'll see two of the Legends revealed here. Is the first one is the 69 overall Buddy Bell rookie from 1972. You guys are like, why would they want a 69 overall rookie? Guys, please don't forget events this year. You want to find these budget cards that can help you in events. One thing you want to look at, and it was pointed out in this video, budget cards this year are going to be high on one hitting stat and good fielders. Fielding's going to mean something. So when you look behind me and you see 79, 82, 79, 74, he can play the field for you. He can play any outfield position. Plus, he can extend the bats with a 98 vision. Especially early on, he'll be a decent card. And in certain events that may be bronze or common only, that 98 vision will play. Because he'll be playing a 69 card versus a 69 pitcher. Remember that. So that 98 vision is going to be something phenomenal. The other legend that we saw is going to be a beautiful, beautiful card. 2015 All-Star Lorenzo Cain, a 92 overall. You see right there, those contact numbers are no joke against lefties. 91 power against lefties. 72 vision is not a slouch. What I find funny here is, well, he's got 90 speed, good steal, good reaction, good fielding. So when you play Diamond Dynasty and you try to bunt with 31-27, if it works the way they're talking about, he should be an automatic out on the bases if he tries to bunt with a drag bunt. So it's going to be funny for people that see high speed and go, hey, high speed, I can bunt with this guy. If the bunt cheese detection works as it's supposed to. So they took a break here. This is the end of the graphic stream. They moved on to actually go on with one of their, again, we're going to show you what it looks like when you're looking at their videos here. Yeah, arm strength is not great hockey level, you're right. So this is all of what they've done recently, starting with the gameplay deep dive. Again, if you're not following them already, Sony San Diego Studio. No S at the end, no S at the end. Let's see here. They did a dev tournament with Nick Livingston, who we will talk about a little later in the road to the show, against Luis Martinez, who is the roster/franchise guy. They did a one with Lance versus Mike. Lance Lehigh. I'm never going to get his name right. Against Mike Compton, I believe. Compton was one of the guys who also worked on the road to the show. Lance is part of the live content team. Props to both of them. We're not going to get into too much of that. I'm going to comment on them a little bit after we're done with the road to the show one. They did do road to the show here. Oh, I have a question in the chat. What's the new bunt detection? Panda Waffle. So there's going to be a threshold for bunting. If it stays true to what it was during the gameplay, was it gameplay stream? It was the gameplay stream. They showed it off on one of the previous streams. I talked about it on this breakdown. There's going to be a threshold. If you are under the threshold, under the bunt rating threshold, you will not be able to drag bunt. If you drag bunt, it will automatically go to a player. Even if Leahy, there you go, Deep Pointer, thank you. Lance Leahy, if you drag bunt, not sacrifice bunt, if you drag bunt with a player that is below the ratings threshold, it will automatically go to the closest fielder. If you are trying to drag bunt with a player that has a shift on, it will automatically, like a right-handed shift, let's say Chris Davis, if you try to drag bunt with Chris Davis, and they've got an extreme right shift on, it will automatically go to the first baseman. In online only, Diamond Dynasty games only, offline bunt to your heart's content. It's your game. Online, head-to-head, you cannot drag bunt. You can still sacrifice bunt without risk of failure. But that is the way they're fixing bunting this year. So I don't know what the threshold is. If it stays true to what the widget said, I believe it was 60 or 59. You had to be above that to be able to drag bunt. So just as a heads up. All right, so this is a dev tournament. We don't want this one either. Aha, this was the next dev tournament. Then they went to the road to the show. Again, let me talk for 1 second about what you're going to see here. So again, Nick Livingston all the way on the right in the White Sox jersey. Mike Compton right above me. Ramon Russell in the middle. And one other gentleman that deserves to be mentioned here is, I believe it's Nick's brother, John Livingston. The three of them, and I'm sure others, but the three of them were the heads of rebuilding Road to the Show. For those of you that did not see the stream, they talked about numbers on this stream. What game modes are the most played? Let me give you those game numbers real quick. Road to the Show had 81 million games played last year. It is the #1 mode played and was severely lacking behind in upgrades. It had not had a significant upgrade in a couple of years. They added Scouting Day. They added some of the cutscenes, but it didn't have anything significant to the mode that made you want to play anymore. Nothing gameplay-wise. So, Road to the Show is getting the love. That is why. And for you online franchise guys, that's why. I love you guys. I'm an online franchise wanter myself. I love online franchise modes, but online franchise made up 493,000. Just to give those numbers real quick, exhibition mode offline, 15 million. Play now online was 1.5 million. Franchise mode, 7 million. Playoff mode, 372,000. Season mode, which is the one season mode of franchise, 1.9 million. And Diamond Dynasty, 18 million. So Diamond Dynasty strongly in that second spot. Franchise and exhibition together count for that third spot. So, all right. So let us get into this Road to the Show and what they do here. I'm not going to show you all the choices. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. You will see some of the choices in this as we're going through. I want to highlight a couple of them. So if you don't want to see anything about Road to the Show, any of the choices you can make, because there are storylines involved, go ahead and skip this now. But until then, we go ahead and let's see, 45. Road to the Show. You see the roster update preview. That's for later, the live content team. We will be breaking that down real quick too. So Pave Your Path, the new hair options, and the live team preview. So again, when you go to create your player, we already saw this. All the different hair types are now in, completely rebuilt, and randomizer is good to go. They go over a lot of the creative player stuff here, the skin tones, the different, like I said, the different ways the hairs shape the heads. They said that all of the devs for the mustaches that you're gonna see, every dev got one of the mustaches. They all like took a lottery for it. So you see that scruffy goatee, full beard, the Euro, the goatee, a couple really cool ones. You got the Raleigh's Fingers mustache in the game now. Again, the color palette where you can set them individually with very specific shades. I like that a lot. This was what Nick had apparently at one point. Remember, you can combo these beards up, so you can put multiple beards together to make different shapes. So, one of the things, you see the motions and sounds. We're going to pause there once he gets back to the main screen. Looks like a chubby Triple H. Chubby Triple H with the beard, yeah. So, okay, right here, one of the things that is added this year, so last year, home run celebrations were tied to the batting stance. You'll see over there, home run for right hand and home run celebration. You can actually tie a home run swing, a no-doubter, like the Jose Bautista bat flip or bat throw, like the Fred McGriff follow through with the helicopter over top. You can tie that to any stance, and you can tie the celebration. They're doing celebrations around the bases this year. They hope to do it where you can do the first, second, third, or home celebrations separately next year. But for now, what home run celebration means is whatever they do when they're rounding the bases. So we saw that a little bit in a previous breakdown and a previous stream with Bryce Harper, you know, pointing to the fans and everything. So we definitely saw that. Again, you see some of the different home run celebrations that are involved in the game. Edwin Encarnacion, the Ed Wing, where he does the wing as he goes around, that's in the game as well, just as a example. Again, more of the body sliders, collarbone length, shoulder width, all of that good stuff. Let's see, isn't there a catcher thing I wanted to show too? They go into that now? Yeah, they go into that right here. Ah, there it is. That's what I wanted to show. So, one of the other cool things that somebody spotted in one of the videos that I did before that I didn't catch is there are different catcher stances now. Catcher styles. They're going to show that real quick right here. Once it comes up. So yeah, he's going to go down here, the different running styles we had last year. So you'll see the different catcher styles. One's like a one knee. One is, we showed in the video, Matt Wieters had the one where I said his hand was behind his glove instead of behind his back. That's one. So one knee, offset, all that kind of good stuff there. So different catcher styles is also very cool. So you see here, we get into Road to the Show after you create your player. It is similar to last year in that you are going to go into a scout day where you run your 60 automatically. It depends on whatever your speed rating is. That's still automatic, so you can't, artificially boost your speed rating. Yes, Mariner, you can. You can use different players' follow-throughs. So like I said, the Fred McGriff follow-through, you can actually put that on any one of the different ones, any one of the different swings. So the follow-through for the home run and the celebrations are all added. So you run your 60, you come back, and then you talk to your hitting coach. Okay, son, it's about timing and making solid contact. Keep your eye on the ball and show us what you got. Take some practice swings first if you want. Should I try and hit bombs anyway? I mean, you could be a complete douche in this mode. You could be the best teammate ever. Things I really like to see. Let's see if we can get that voiceover.
There it is.
Yeah, we can. Okay. I'm gonna kind of get the voiceover. So the voiceover, they went for a documentary style.
There it is.
All right, so here we've got our first
interaction?
first interaction, so to speak. What do we want to do here? Well, I've already. Like, do we want to ask the guy some more information, or just want to say, okay, let's go?
Ramon pointing to the stands. So they went for a documentary style, and again, I don't want to ruin it for too many people, but it also has some dry humor. On Twitter, I mentioned earlier this week, if you've ever played the Stanley Parable on PC, it is essentially like just a first-person kind of puzzle game. But the whole time, the voiceover is talking in your head, but it's like a dry humor. There are times where you make decisions, selfish decisions, or just decisions in general, where you get that dry humor. It comes through in the game. I actually found myself chuckling to some of the decisions that Ramon and Nick made during this. So what I'd like to see so far, I like what I see. We only get to see so much of what's going on in the scout day or talking to your advisor. I want to continue to see that voiceover. I want to see that voiceover more and more, and I'm curious when it starts to get repetitive, or if it starts to get repetitive. If they have enough with the different branching decisions. And it's not always 2 decisions, guys. A lot of times there's like 3 or 4 choices you can make. So again, the hitting coach, you see how it's going up there. Boys are going to start calling names anytime now. Okay, son, should I try and hit bombs? And he comes back and says, your ability to square up and make consistent solid contact is mostly what the scouts are looking for. But yeah, they're going to be talking about your power too. Just stay within yourself. So it's essentially your hitting coach telling you, don't be an idiot. But you can go up there, do whatever you want. You go just like last year. You show off your skills, and you get, matter of fact, behind them, you see the little Bowman logo? That's where your draft status is for Road to the Show. Skip through that. And then you do some fielding, obviously. Okay, and then, so right here. Hey, Joe, a scout comes up to you. Hey, Joe, I'm Jeff Evans with the MLB Scouting Bureau. Hey, heck of a show you put on for us today. And then you come back and say, you're welcome. Really? You're going to thank them for watching you? just a taste of what you'll get. I appreciate your saying so. My pleasure. So again, you're molding your style. A lot of people that play Road to the Show for a long time create their own backstories. I know I had one. I know Polygon's Owen Good is famous for creating different backstories for his guys. Country Breakfast is one of the guys I'll always remember that he talked about. It's cool to be able to morph my guy to what I think he should be. Yeah, I think I like that a lot. And you'll see, you not only get the chance to be douches to like a scout, but you also can be a real jerk to your manager, and it can affect your game time. It can affect your career. It can affect so much stuff. So again, not just on the field stuff from Road to the Show this year, there's a lot of off the field stuff this year too. Yeah, your potential was widely agreed upon already, but geez, did you validate it today? I'll keep my eyes on you going forward, as many will. So again, anticipate more of the same, or, you know, whatever. So, and then you see like these off the field stuff, much like NBA 2K, you're seeing them off the field talking to their advisor, who's like your high school coach. So again, how much will it impact my draft stock? You could talk about if a team that once a team drafts you. So you go through the same normal draft screen as you did last year. It tells you what round you're picked in. Let's see if we can get that up. Panda Waffle in the chat says, I wonder if you can drink beer and eat fried chicken. Only in the Red Sox locker room, apparently. So yeah, you go through the same draft screen as you had last year. You can fast forward to your pick. They get picked in the 3rd round here. And then, so you get drafted. I think they get drafted by the Rockies too. Okay, and then right here, Joe, this is the GM of the Colorado Rockies. We just drafted you to come play for us. How does that sound? Sounds great. Holy cow, I'm going to play with the Rockies. To be honest, sir, I was expecting to get picked sooner. Good guess. So, like, they're talking about, you see that. Thank you, sir. We believe your talent's well. At first, you can decline and say, I don't really want to play for you. And then you can come back later. They'll give you like a last chance to fix your offer. And you see here, they send an offer sheet and everything like that. So you can actually, this is the way you go back into the draft. Remember last year, you could go back into the draft or go back into college for a few years and get some more training points. You could do that again this year, but it's also, there's a negative to this because teams are going to be wary about drafting you. Think about it. If you got drafted by a team and went back to college and they just wasted a pick on you, the next team that picks you is going to be really, really wary of picking you and you becoming a problem. So we talked about this. I'm very happy to see, hold on, let's see this screen right here. Let's see if we can get this up here. I know he goes back into it. So what Nick does is Nick actually goes into these screens a couple times. He rebuilds his player here to get another screen. But we're going to skip these choices. So he ends up getting drafted. So again, you can go back to school if you really want to. In this case, he signs with the team. You see the background of the minor league?
This might crash. We're in weird development territory here, so like I said.
So again, what I really like is we're gonna pause it right. No, come back.
Yard goats. The yard goats. Yard goats.
So he's drafted by the Rockies, gets sent down to the Yard Goats, and then one of the awesome things that I talked about on the OS Daily earlier this week that you guys heard was this launchpad screen, which we're going to see right here. So social media above me right here, one of the things we found out is that you have the ability to interact with the social media. You'll have media engagements, you will have fan engagements, the opportunity to actually like sign bats, talk to fans, grow your popularity, possibly get a boost, because we do know that there's going to be boosts in here. Over there, you see your performance, everything you could see before, but in a much cleaner screen. You can edit your player and equipment. You can go all that. You cannot pick your team anymore. That's another big thing. Thank you, Red Sox. You cannot pick your team anymore. You have to be drafted by a team. You cannot choose where you're going. So you see, again, he rebuilds it again. They bug out. They go somewhere. He goes for power. He gets drafted again. All right, so here's a manager interaction. He gets drafted by the Braves. So I've come to understand you might have a sharp edge to you because he's being, not a complete jerk, but, he has some jerk-like tendencies. So again, you have a chance here to say who said that and further along that progress. Or, I just like to have fun with people sometimes. It's not a big deal. So you have the opportunity, anything you do, you have the opportunity to fix once or twice before it really sets in that you're a jerk. The other manager thing we saw earlier this week was you have the opportunity, a manager may come to you and try to change your position. We saw a third baseman, a manager come up and say, listen, we have an opportunity in right field. We want to switch you to right field. Do you want to? And you have the option of saying, no, I'm kind of stuck at third. I want to be a third baseman, or yes, anything for the team. And if you do move to right field or do move to a new position, you will get more training sessions for that, just like in real life. That'll be a reward for you for doing something for the team, is they will help you along to become better in right field. I would imagine that this will go over to pitchers as well. Like, say you're a starting pitcher and they say, you know what? We've got a ton of starting pitchers, but you've got the stuff to be a closer in this league. We really need you to be a closer. Or, hey, we're going to send you up to the majors, but they're going to put you in the bullpen for right now. You have the opportunity to say, well, I think I deserve a spot in the rotation, or, I don't want to be a bullpen guy, or, you know what, anything for the team, let me be in long relief. Again, those interactions make me want to continue to play Road to the Show, make me want to continue to move on with the story, create my guy in my essence. So, yeah, Hockey Lover in chat says the moving around is the Trey Turner option. Trey Turner, this year's the Nats shortstop, but last year he was playing center field for them because they already had a shortstop. Same idea. Are you going to be Trey Turner, or are you going to be one of those guys that says, no, you drafted me in my position, that's my spot, and I'm going to win it. So, and again, you see here, same kind of menu screen that you see in the, there we go. Manager Spangler. So this was a shortstop for Nick that he created. Management instructed us to get a look at you as a second baseman for a short time. Anyone that knows the Braves knows they've got Dansby Swanson. Dansby, I know, but Bay, B-A-E. I know the language, you youngins. Dansby Swanson at shortstop. So why do they need another shortstop? Let's get him a double play combination. Let's get you at second base. So my guess is, from what we've seen of these changes, that teams understand what they need in different positions. Kind of cool. Seriously, mind if I ask why, or okay, whatever you need. You have these options, kind of cool. Like I said, that the manager can come to you and do that. What I'd like to see, and what I kind of want to see in franchise mode, is I want to see teams do this in franchise mode. CPU teams change positions of guys where they need help. Because as we saw, out of position guys this year is not going to work. So again, I was brought as a shortstop. Whatever you need, blah blah blah, good stuff. Again, this launch pad. Here's one of those interactions we talked about right here. Justin, my dude, congrats on being drafted. Dream come true. You can add them as favorites, so you can come back. You can come back to them. This was a text message. These are tweets. Apparently, again, you'll see interactions as well. And these clubhouses change as you go. You get to see minor league clubhouses. As you get to the majors, they will be upgraded. You'll see better. You see, these are kind of old couches here. Something you'd expect to see in like Bull Durham or something. So, I am skipping over a lot of what they're talking about, guys. I really, if you're interested in Road to the Show, you're gonna watch this stream, and I hope you do, because you can kind of tell. I don't like to put words in people's mouths, but when Nick talks about this, you can see that Nick believes in this. Again, like you can see Nick, this is Nick's baby. You can tell Nick is in love with what he is doing with this. And the whole show team shows that, but in a mode like this, I think that's extremely important to put your heart and soul into getting this. So, again, if anything, I would definitely suggest going to this and listening to Nick talk, watching Nick explain some of this stuff, because he does an excellent job at a lot of this. So again, we get to see some of the creative player stuff. They went into the caps here. You see there? I mean, that right there is, I mean, is that the Dansby Swanson? Dansby? So, I mean, a little darker hair color, but get a little Hunter Pence going. I mean, pre-shave Hunter Pence. All right, and then here we go with the live content team. They went over the last 15 minutes what they're going to be doing. Roster updates, which will still be on Fridays this year, will affect your live team players. Upcoming events, new items, new rewards, promo packs, time and quantity limited items. So let's go into this real quick. You'll see Tips, Stephen Haas over there. You see Luis come back after his beating in the... All right, so in this beating in the Dev Tourney. So you see here, the first is called Daily. Now, granted, let's time this because I'm going to do this separately. I'm going to put this up separately here, guys. So... daily missions, extremely important. Why, you ask? Not everybody will get the same daily missions on the same day. What they told us is daily missions, there's about 200 of them. Okay? What you do is, it's imagine taking your hand and reaching into a hat and pulling out a name. That's the mission you'll get. You can only hold 3 missions at a time. So every day you don't do a mission, if you have 3 stacked up, you are losing your chance at another mission. Why is this important, you ask? I mean, we're all get the same rewards, right? Wrong. Different people will get different rewards for these missions. And what they said is about 15 of these 200 missions have the ability to get a diamond player or an epic player. How do we know this? Well, they show it very clearly because they say that as they talk about it. Hold on. Oh, you see, before we talk about that, it's about a pool of about 200 missions. When you do collections, you get your universal profile nameplate. So you know I'll be doing the Orioles one very quickly. But this mission right here, this Royals Epic, is apparently one of the live missions. Like you can unlock live missions from, or you can unlock epic missions sometimes, or live missions from daily missions. So think about that. Some of those rewards are diamond. Some of those rewards are unlocks for epic missions. Do your daily missions, Diamond Dynasty people, please. No, the quantity is not limited, Young Stu. Young Stu says, the quantity limited items are, yes, if you do time, they're timed missions. So, was that 15 missions in the game last year? No, I don't think so, because they didn't do daily missions last year. And then they do a legend reveal, who is Willie McCovey, first base hardware, which was his rookie of the year season in 1959. 93 overall. You see he mashes righties, holds his own against lefties. Decent fielding for a first baseman. Again, fielding is going to matter this year in ball physics, so always remember to have that number up there. And 43 speed is pretty terrible, but not bad for a first baseman. So, and then I think they did a second legend here. See, the second legend is 2009 postseason CC Sabathia, 99 stamina, 85 hits over 9, 70K over 9 is a little low, but you're going to get some of that velocity and break. He's got a 4-seam slider change. Sinker. I'm saying sinker directly into the camera because I think that is going to be the big pitch this year. With the improved ball physics, I think sinker is going to be the pitch that everyone goes to this year. So definitely want to go ahead and remember that. I think you're going to get ground balls this year. I think finesse pitchers are going to have a spot this year. So, again, so that's the end of that stream. Some of the things I want to go over real quick, just regarding Road to the Show, since we were talking about it. You can get boosts to Road to the Show points, manager pep talks. I'm going to guess you can get boosts through some of the interactions in your social media feed, so keep an eye on that. You obviously will be able to get boosts through agents, stuff like that, or your normal purchases. The other thing I want to talk about is some of the questions they answered. Let's see here. New legends. Oh, they also did 2 new legends, which you can definitely find places. Bruce Sutter was a 98 overall. closing pitcher from 1977, breakout star, good pitch mix, good fire on some of his pitches. The other one was the 98 overall Florida Marlins Miguel Cabrera, third baseman with about 70s in his fielding, and obviously can hit from 2006. So definitely want to remember that. One of the things, just closing up here, and you know what, I'll put this on just so that it's in the background, but one of the things that I noticed the most, they did go over top 10 players too, which we're not going to go over here because, to be fair, I think you're all smart enough to understand that top 10 players are the ones that ship of the game could be changed in the first 2 roster updates. So one of the things that I noticed when I was watching the Dev Tourney games is the way ball physics impact play. You've heard me talk about the top 3 things that I think really are going to change this game in terms of an upgrade over 16. Ball physics is the number one obvious one. So that right there, you see it kind of curving off. Ball physics especially hits to like the power alleys. You're seeing backspin on balls. Doc Zen, who was in the stream yesterday, we were talking about that. The backspin you get on doubles that go out to the corner, actually, or the doubles that go in the power alleys, you can see the ball kind of floating away. Much like guys that hit down on the ball, Adam Jones and stuff like that, those kind of guys, you get to see that kind of skipping motion. The other thing that I saw a lot of was the balls down the lines, which we're going to be able to see the most ball physics from. I want to be able to see third baseman make plays like Machado did in the World Baseball Classic. I want to see that play. I'm not sure if he can make it in this game, but with the new ball physics, it should open up a ton of new animations for this game and a ton of new really great plays that I hope are made that we didn't get to see too much of that. Was there anything really else? I mean, they went over top 10 players at one point, but I would suggest recommended watching. Obviously, if you're a Road to the Show guy, go watch the Road to the Show stream. I think the graphic stream, unless you're extremely technical, I think you can bypass that, but don't sleep on it. Remember, the respect that we owe those guys that do the graphics and arts, no matter how they are on a stream, is immense. That's where we get, again, that immersion feeling from. The other thing I'd suggest is watch these Dev Tourney games. I think you should absolutely go back and watch some of these just to get a feel of what you're getting yourself into this year. Especially, again, fielding ratings and reaction are going to make a ton this year. You heard Ramon say it a few times. You heard some of the devs go through. Fielding's going to matter this year, guys. You're not going to be able to just slip people through. So definitely start thinking about those. Yeah, the Tigers flashbacks look really nice too. That's why I put this one on. But yeah, they go over, and since this was the last breakdown, in case you guys don't know, last breakdown, last stream, this is a very open and very transparent team that gets bagged on for communication style sometimes. These streams showed to me and everybody else, I think, anyone that's been in this community for a while, that they're ready to go. Like, they have no problem showing you their game. They're showing you the Dev Tourney games were on a final build. Like, a final build of this game. And props to them. Props to them for being ballsy enough to show their final build, knowing that people were going to pick it apart. And just saying, you know what? Go for it. So, if you guys, for the future, just as a heads up, I will show the walk-off, by the way. So it's 4-4, bottom of the 11th, by the way. Jung Ho Gong is in, hitting. This is the championship game of the tournament, by the way. So you see that walk there. Just going on for a little further also is thank you guys for everyone that tuned into the breakdowns this year. I had a pleasure doing them. I know this was a day late, but when you do a 7.5 hour stream, the breakdown's going to have to kind of stick with it. So day late, dollar short, story of my life. But Also, remember, tune in. If you're not already following us on Twitch, make sure you do that. We may have some surprises for you upcoming in the next week and a half or so. So definitely follow the Twitch, YouTube. You know, we do some content, but obviously we're mainly a streamer here, mainly a Twitch streamer. So if you have not followed already, go ahead and hit that follow button. I think you guys are gonna be pleasantly surprised upcoming what we can do. Let's watch this here. Yeah, by the way, the finals are, I think it's Mike McDonald, I think is his name. He is a QA tester, I believe. And Kyle Saul, obviously, in the Dodgers blue. By the way, everyone was asking the stream, why is the catcher dropping the ball so much? You're about to see why. Yeah, that's Victor Martinez behind the plate. Not a great fielder. So he goes ahead and puts James McCann back there, one of the better fielders. And here you go. We're going to watch this just to the finish here. Matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to throw the volume on here. Uh-oh.
Whoa.
Oh!
Too many buttons. All right, let's get that volume going here. So we got Gong here. Let's see here. What are we at? 302?
Oh, okay.
So again, dropping it with Victor Martinez.
Jeez.
This is how we want to end it. This is how I want to end this breakdown. I want you guys to see this. Josh Bell of the Pirates.
No swing.
And again, why is you guys aren't going to learn this. Some of you aren't going to learn this until it happens to you. Defense matters this year. Victor Martinez, terrible defender, good arm strength, but like a 44 fielding. So.
Well, that's because it's not.
Old man Victor Martinez playing V-Mart at pitcher, so that's what you get. It's a
Decent curveball. Not a bad curveball, right?
lineup, you get dropped 30 strikes.
All right. 3-2 count, 2 outs, runner on second base.
Oh! It's gone. She gone.
Holy smokes!
And it's on.
The comeback.
Let him go.
That's where the, you know.
Choke him.
Holy moly!
Shouldn't have taken Victor.
Shouldn't have taken Victor out.
It's all about taking out Victor.
Well, Kyle Saul, you know, where's the other light? All right.
Oh boy, here we go.
Somebody's air horn.
Oh, we're not out yet. We're not out yet. Well, I'm out. McDonald's out.
Kyle, do you want to say anything? You want to say anything to the fans out?
Thank you guys so much for tuning in for the Megastream breakdown, which we tried to cut down. I know it's been about an hour 16. So thank you guys so much. Make sure you tune in to MLB The Show. They're going to have a live stream twice a month this year, going over live content updates. That live content team is phenomenal. So again, twitch.com/Sony San Diego Studio, no S at the end. You see that right up here at the top. And youtube.com/Sony San Diego. So definitely want to go ahead and give them a follow. Guys, thank you so much. Remember, Operation Sports, dedicated to sports gaming. This is the closest I will ever be to Ramon Russell.